Hello. Have another quick one today. I have a leaf that I quickly sketched out just mostly the outline of. Um, and I have the leaf sort of looking like it's laying down. And then I used a masking fluid marker just to make some soft, I'm calling them C's, right? Because they're just slightly curved lines. So some soft C's, meant to be water ripples. And I have them a little bit closer together as they're nearer the leaf, as they're nearer the leaf, yeah, okay. And then I space them out as they get further out. And all of that took me probably less than a minute. So, and now we're just painting, and that's gonna be quick also. For my paints, I am using my Daler Rowney Aquafine. This is what, a half pan set of 24 colors. I love this. This is really great to work with, great paint, great price. Not if you get it at Michael's without a coupon, but, either go to Michael's and get a coupon or look on eBay. I've gotten these for like $12, $13 on eBay, brand new. Alright, so first things first, I'm actually going to start with the water around my leaf. I'm gonna start with a lighter blue. That's got some red on it, hold on. I'm gonna start with a lighter blue. And I'm gonna go wet on dry, and if it skips at all, that's just fine with me. So we're just gonna go around. Right. And you can see areas where I put my masking fluid popping right out. You could do this without masking fluid. Um, you just need to control your brushes really skipping, so that way you can have those highlighted areas be your water ripples, or of course you could just go on after the fact, put all your water down, and when you're ready, go ahead and add, some gouache or something like that to the top. Okay. Okay. Now I have to be a little bit more purposeful as I'm getting closer to the leaf. It's going to take a little more paint here. Okay. And you see how in certain spots, like this one color, I'm using still the same color blue, but it's, darker here and lighter there. That's all perfectly fine. This is water. I'm going to add some darker blue to it anyway. So if this one color wants to come out in a few different shades, that's actually perfect. And while this first layer of paint is still damp, some spots is actually dry already, some spots it's damp. I'm going to go ahead with a darker blue. And the notebook or the sketch pad I'm using, it is a Strathmore sketch pad. It's cold pressed watercolor paper. It's I believe it's pulp paper. I don't think there's any cotton in it. Strathmore's not my favorite, but I actually got these were on sale. Instead of $20 each, I got them for $10 each, so I grabbed 2 of them. Again, I don't love Strathmore, but it's still, I need things to practice on, so why not? Practice, explore, experiment. All right, now I'm gonna go around again and just start putting in lines or soft C's of this darker blue. And I'll be honest, I use this set all the time, and the colors do have names, but I don't actually know what they are. I just swatched them out when I got it, and I didn't, I think on the packaging it did say, but I didn't keep that or write it down, so that's why I'm saying, like, lighter blue and darker blue. I don't know, because I don't know. I should know. I Doesn't matter. I could guess what some of these colors are, but, whatever. That's my answer, whatever. Alright, now I'm gonna come in and I'm just going to make it a little bit darker directly underneath the leaf, right? Kinda like a shadow. So it would be, a little uneven and a little ripply. I don't know if that's a word, but it is today because it's in the water, right? And while I still have some dampness around, I'm gonna do a little bit more, some soft C's or just slightly bent lines around painting around the leaf. And I really hope that for those of you that are using sketchbooks or, any kind of like a watercolor pad that you, um, something that's like a book that you're not pulling the pages out of, I really hope that you are allowing yourself to be a little carefree, really let go of perfection and just let stuff happen. Sometimes better things happen when I don't try to be too precise. Sometimes it's obvious that I was not being too precise, but I really hope you give yourself permission to really let go. Have that sketchbook, that watercolor book, whatever you want to call it, and don't be afraid to make a mess. You'll discover some amazing things in allowing yourself to do that. Now I'm just taking my damp brush and just lightly, lightly running over the very edge of this shadow just to pull out a little bit, soften that edge and pull it out just a little bit. Okay. Okay, and now I'm just going to mix up an orange. I want something that's a little less bright than what I have here. So, let's see. Add a little yellow. I got some other colors falling in there. That's okay. Red and darker yellow. There. That's what I want. Just something a little earthier looking. I'm going to start just dropping that in random places. And then I'm going to go start adding some greens. And of course, you need some brown in there. Right? This leaf didn't fall off the tree because it was all fresh and new. It fell off the tree because it's fall. It dried up. Okay. And while that leaf is drying, now I'm going to go back to the water and water. Why did I say it like that? Um, I know I say everything weird. It's okay. Um, what I want to do is make some very thin lines like I did here, but that wasn't supposed to happen yet. Do some very thin lines of this dark blue that really, I believe it's an indigo, unless it's a really dark. No, I'm gonna say it's an indigo. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so I'm just trying to decide which brush I want to use for that. This one does come to a nice point, but I don't completely trust myself. You know what? I do know what brush I want to use. So this is one of those that has the round belly and then the pointy bristles that come out. This is Da Vinci brand. This is a size 8. This brush really is good for what it says. The belly will hold your paint, and then the point will allow you to get some fine tip lines. So I'm gonna use this, and hopefully, the only concern that I have is just knowing me. Sometimes my hands like to just fit, just whatever. And if I push down too hard, then I'll just have, a big blob. But we can fix it. We can fix it anyway. So I'm just gonna start, and I want them to be just like water ripples. They should be closer together and smaller, closer to the source, whatever's causing the rippling. And then as you get further away from that, they're going to spread out more. They're going to be a little bigger and a little more separated from each other, right? So individual ones will be wider and not as close together. This little, I guess that's okay. I just start trying to be gentle. I don't want the brush to just slam down and then all of a sudden I have a big blob. But if that happens, it happens. I just want to come in and some of these just want to pull out those edges a little bit. So this brush right now is just damp. And I'm just using it to adjust these little lines I already made. They're still going to be dark, thin lines. They just got a little bit smoothed out here. And I don't want to forget the top of the painting. There's still going to be ripples on the other side because the thought is that the leaf fell from a tree and dropped down into this source of water. So it would have ripples on both sides. Same rule. Smaller and closer together, the closer they are to the source of the ripple. Right, so just and then again, I'm going to take the same brush, but just with some water on it and just gently smooth over my initial lines. Okay, and now I just want to see if my leaf is dry. Not quite. I'm going to use my heat tool and just dry this off for 10 seconds, but I'll do it off camera because it's noisy and I dripped water. And then I just want to draw over this a little bit. Okay, so now I just want to take a micron. I'm just gonna sketch a little bit over the leaf. And I'm gonna go ahead and start right up the middle where it comes from the stem, right? And then, of course, we have like some veins coming out this off the side of that. And I'm going to go ahead and do a light sketching around the outline as well. And what I'm going to do here, I'm doing the little short lines because the edge of these leaves, um, they got little like points to them anyway. And then what I'm going to do here on the bottom is just do that line a little bit, or do these lines a little bit darker and thicker since that's where there'd be more shadow anyway. And then there'll be one thing left to do, and that's going to be pulling up this masking fluid. And this is, I use this type of micron a lot. It's the kind with the pen nib tip. That way I don't have to worry about breaking the tip off if I use too much pressure. I do use the other ones like, like the standard kind of micron tip you'd expect to see. These are fantastic, but if you put too much pressure, you could actually snap that off. And, I do that sometimes. So, all right. So let's see now. Move this paint over. I'm done with this for now. One of these days, I'll go ahead and get the list of names of colors for that set. I use it all the time. I really should. I really should have that. Okay, so this is a piece of paper towel that I don't need. Okay, this is an eraser made for lifting up masking fluid. If you use masking fluid, you're probably familiar with this. And I have some. You could see I have some stuff stuck to it from previous times I've used it. And this is dry. You don't want to obviously do this when your paint's still wet because you could rip everything, but I'm still going to be on the gentle side. And this one that I used from the pen, the marker that I showed earlier, comes up way more easily in my experience than like the ones in the bottle like this. These can be great, especially if you have a larger surface to do, but like I've found that you have this really fine tip, but it works great the first time, and then I'm trying to unclog it every time. Um, it can be good though if I wanna do like a quick round moon, because 'cause I'll actually like take my paper, I'll take this top off. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but I'll take this top off and then I'll take my paper and, like, it just makes the circle for me. So I still love this kind, but the marker version is really, really handy and easy to use. So anyway, you just finish. And another thing that you could do that I did not do is, um, like I just let me go to what I did do first. I just put down these soft bent lines of the masking fluid, didn't really worry about how thick they were, and then I just put my paint down like which way, right? Because this is, um one of those sketchbooks that are for exploration, and I wasn't looking for perfection. If you are looking for perfection, then you can plan how you put your paint down around how you put the masking fluid down. Or, like I said, you don't have to use masking fluid for the highlights in the water. You could, do a wet on dry or a damp on dry, and I should say do a damp on dry, and then you can get that where the brush skips, so paint misses spots, and then you have like these little highlights that can look like sparkles. But quick and fun, And there you have it, a quick and easy watercolor painting. This can be for your sketchbook, or this can be for something you're gonna hang on the wall or sell or whatever you want. But it's a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time.